What the fuck is up, everybody? It's John Escudero, aka Yogi, and that's my whole intro from a whole nother show that I just gave y'all here for free, by accident. That's on reflex. I am. I hadn't even removed the right banner. There we go. What the fuck is up, everybody? It's John. You're here on the latest episode of Dirt Sheet Radio. As always, it's a podcast about professional wrestling, and I'm here with my boys. Introduce yourself, my friends.
Yo, what's up? I'm one of the friends. Guess what? I actually did turn off Baldur's Gate 3, so don't worry about that, everyone. But yo, it's Neek. You might recognize me from the AEW Dynamite recap. So go make sure you check that out after every episode of Dynamite. It's awesome. It's flawless. It's perfect. Chef's kiss.
Now let's introduce our final friend.
Hey, buddy, what's up? Remember, lock your doors, check your corners, hook is vengeance.
He's not the hook that we deserve, but he's the one that we need right now.
Yes.
Send Huke. H-E-W-K, Huke. Back at it again. I just love, too, how flawless the picture everyone shares of when he's at the club.
Oh, my God.
I'm excited to see Hook in a world championship match. I know people, it's like a meme or whatever. I'm excited to see him in a challenging situation. He's gonna be in there with Samoa Joe.
Red rum and coquina clutch.
He won't get squashed, but it'll be interesting. We don't usually get right into the serious talk. I try not, but we're here.
Yeah, we didn't get silly at all there. I don't know what the show this is.
I didn't have any.
We don't have a Linkin Park album to talk about.
It's insane. It's been a couple of weeks since we last saw you. Last week, Greg and I we did a 5.5 hour watch along stream for Wrestle Kingdom 18. Great time, great people in the chat. It was fun. It was a very fun time. We might
me and John got to share what, as premature as it always sounds. I stand by the quality of it. Me and John got to watch live and share what is probably so far a clear frontrunner for match of the year.
God, that Bryan versus Okada match. We got to watch that.
It also might be a clear frontrunner for gear of the year because I am just down with those dragon scales.
Oh man, did you get to see like the close-up image of it they posted online afterwards?
No.
The guy who made it looks so freaking cool. It looks even cooler online. Even though New Japan, the Wrestle Kingdom feed was really clear this year. It was really nice.
That new site or whatever they're using now is top, good stuff.
New website.
Those dudes used to struggle to make it to 720p.
I've been. This had nothing to do with Wrestle Kingdom.
Let's do it.
I've been mostly, I try to be objective, but I talk my shit here and there. But here and there. But when it comes to wrestling, I try to analyze it objectively. But good, my dog crap now. I try to analyze it.
It's not objective at all.
I try to analyze it objectively, but then I also want to talk shit. Like I want to talk so much shit. Like I just want to talk shit. I want to say absolutely. I want to say things that don't make sense because they're funny. But then I feel like that it's so weird because in this realm in wrestling, this fandom, a lot of the fans are.
It can be tough for people to discern a bit from genuine criticism.
They can't, and then their first impression, they're not mentally capable of moving past a first impression. It sounds crazy, but it's the truth. They're not capable of. So it's hard to try to balance that because I just want to come on here and I want to be like, fuck CM Punk. The Young Bucks are the greatest tag team of all time, and I don't want to elaborate. I want to say whatever the fuck I want to say, but then people confuse that with what you actually know. So it's like I don't know what the fuck to do because I have a little bit of both tonight, and I don't know when people are gonna be able to tell the difference. And I feel like it's stupid to be like, okay, I am in fan mode now. Like you should be smart enough to know, but then they don't. So then, oh my.
So before we get into all that, actually, I'm just gonna ask the question about before we do get into the serious stuff, I'm just gonna ask the question about what I'm looking at. John, why do DJ College's stages suck?
DJ Cal and LED stages.
Another one.
DJ Khaled doesn't suck, but LED stages do suck. And I had that up because tonight, Daly's place got LEDified, and I was like, damn, it looks really cool, but fuck, we're losing everything to LED. Damn it! Actually, I thought guys talk about that.
Enhance the Daly's place.
I thought it was really pretty, but you guys talk about that. Let me chase my daughter real fast.
Oh dear.
I got a whole rant ready to go on this one. So let me talk about this.
Let's talk
effects,
about it.
Practical
let me
staging.
Talk to you.
100. Yeah. So let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Staging. I mentioned this earlier on Wednesday night. So if you're hearing this again, hey, that's on you. But so Survivor Series 1998, fantastic. The giant skull theme.
Get a slurp in there, Nick.
Then we got Halloween Havoc, fantastic, flawless. Pretty much every year starting from 93 onwards up until like
which
99.
Okay. I was asking which Halloween Havoc.
Then we check out like Judgment Day 2004, fantastic staging. We have a whole series of these, and that's practical wrestling stages. They're like actual design work. The stage manager is actually putting their whole ussy into it. They are trying their hardest to make sure it looks cool. Every event.
I could gladly
that was
go
one of the
all day about
like being a kid and like watching like Sunday Night Heat, because I got to have a sneak peek at what the stage was, and I was just like, oh, that's so cool. That's the theme. That's the feel for the event.
Sure, I could gladly go all day about fucking 2000s WWF stages.
I don't know. It's more than just like I want stages to be unique again. I like when pay-per-views feel different from the show. It's a whole feeling. I think AEW does a good job of doing it.
Especially with full gear, because it's always got like the little gears and.
I was a complete dick for about all of year one about the fucking Dynamite set being the same as the interview set with different fucking posters on the screens.
Year one was rough, but that's year one.
Year one.
They didn't have anywhere to place the sets. That is not. So I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was pretty. I was just like, damn, this looks really nice, but I was kind of hoping they had the tunnel. Is all. I was like,
that's what you were thinking about the whole time.
We could have used the tunnel. We could have brought back the tunnel. It's homecoming. We're at Daly's place and we're doing all these memories. We could have brought back the tunnel.
See, John saw Homecoming and thought, we're doing retro Raw tonight.
We might as well. I mean, you didn't have to do the old stage, but like the Daly's Place stage looked really cool. It looked cool tonight, but I always liked how it looked before. Like I really liked how it looked before. It was one of the more unique venues on TV wrestling. Yeah. It still is, I guess. It's even more. It looks different now too, but. Like I said, it's not
I'm
like a problem.
I'm usually not a huge fan of like straight up LED stages, but this is one time that I'll say that it looked really cool.
Well, I mean, I thought the LEDs, just like for what you are limited to doing with camera angles in Daly's Place, I thought the LEDs just help enhance the visual for what was on screen.
I think the last time I ever truly enjoyed a straight up complete LED stage was WrestleMania 23.
What was the WrestleMania 23? Was it really fully LED?
Event? What's the main event?
No, I know WrestleMania 23. Shawn Michaels, John Cena.
Yeah.
I say if you give me the main event, I'll remember what it is.
It's the CM Punk gangster.
No, that was 22.
No, that's 22. That's 22. 23. 23, I'm trying to remember. I know it was really big. I know it was in Ford Field. I know it had like stripes.
I drew this stage like so many times in art class. It was literally, I have a whole notebook full of stages I have drawn from different wrestling shows over the years. And this one in particular, because it did the same thing where it's like a crisscross type of drawing for those LED boards. And yeah, if you look up the WrestleMania 23 stage, it's pretty much the logo up top that they would be able to move up and down, which they never really showed on camera, but it was a really cool feature that it could do. And then they also had the elements of the Tron, and then just straight up LEDs that they used to put whatever else on, especially for like the side pillars that they did with it.
Okay, so you know what's weird? You know why I don't remember why I remember that show, but not necessarily the stage. The thing that's always most vivid is excuse me, is when they did the spotlight entrance for the Undertaker. So you don't really see the stage in that moment. You just see the darkness and then the light behind Taker as he walks out.
One of the things that always stood out to me too about WrestleMania 23 was just like MVP with this big, crazy, grand entrance, and it's like the most MVP thing you could possibly think of. And
That
then
the
just
cheerleaders?
yeah, cheerleaders. You had the full like the inflatable entryway tunnel, and then Chris Benoit comes out. And he's just all business serious, no glitz or glamour. I thought that juxtaposition was so fun. That was
Well,
great.
you brought up MVP, so
Oh,
you brought up
he said
MVP,
segue.
so I might as well talk about the thing I forgot to put on the outline. That doesn't really matter. It doesn't. It is not like a piece of news, but I do like my classic
You
old
do like
school.
your drama sleeve.
Yeah, IWC drama. You know, I almost got into a whole rant. I'm gonna talk about that in a second.
Reality, we got a show tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we do.
We took 2 weeks off of some shit went down.
MVP and Jericho had a little beef like maybe last year or the year before, where we had heard about a situation.
Unlike the Golden Globe Award winning beef.
No, but we had heard about a situation where they were at the lobby of a hotel and they got into an argument over, I think it was some political stuff, but Jericho scurried away into a closing elevator and he screamed out like, "I don't fight jobbers," like as it closed. Jesus Christ, this is why somebody's gonna I'm gonna start being abusive. No. I'm gonna flip a switch. That's it. Somebody hit whatever by Our Lady of Peace.
I love how haunting that intro is that we never heard in there, but like imagine like a special entrance with that.
If you want to actually play it, it's so creepy.
It really is. You know, that reminds me of the video. Too. That reminds me of the Roosh video, him coming out to the Chris Benoit theme in Mexico.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
And the Dave Meltzer tweet where he's like, Roosh comes out to Chris Benoit's theme for some reason. It's ridiculous.
Okay, have you guys ever played Left 4 Dead 1 or 2?
No.
Not enough.
Okay.
Not enough.
There's a mod that I have that is one of my favorites, where when the tank comes out, and the tank's this big buff zombie character that's got giant arms. He could pick up cars and throw them right at you. He's got like 8,000 health points. You got to have the whole team ready to take him down, basically. The battle itself is so much more intense when I get the mod that it changes his song to Chris Benoit's theme song.
Oh my
what
God.
The fuck?
When you hear and this giant monster of a zombie comes at you, like it's more intense.
That's horrifying because of the implications. Talk about MVP and Chris Jericho because Chris Jericho has been in some heat. We didn't get to talk about that on this show, but he got.
He's had quite a month.
he's had a month, and it's hard to talk about it because it's not, like if it was straight up like, somebody accused him of something, I'll be like, you know what, that's what happened, and we have to talk about it, and he's got to go, and blah blah blah. But it wasn't as
the thing
clear
people keep
cut.
asking for, which I don't think is as clear cut as people want it to be.
Yeah, and I don't think it's ever going to be, and that's what makes it something that I don't feel like if this is beyond like wrestling conversation, like that kind of stuff is beyond like wrestling conversation because it goes into some elevated thinking that that wrestling fans aren't capable of doing. And it's
shit.
But you're defending, and it's like, well, no, I'm speaking objectively, but no, like you can't speak objectively in the direction that bothers me. And it's like, well, fuck.
Well, then you didn't want to have a conversation. You just want to come in here and be
you want the echo chamber experience.
You wanted affirmation, not conversation, and I don't have that for you. I just
agree with me.
Yeah, I won't. So that stuff, that was already.
It is like not to beleaguer the point too much, but it is always very interesting when you challenge a notion that somebody came in feeling very strongly about, because like
Yeah.
it's never it never gets thought over. It just goes straight to rejection.
I think it's not, and it's not like all wrestling fans are dumb. Some of them are just too young. Some of them, I mean,
Sure.
are like teenagers and they're like really emotional. Oh, this is wrong. How could you even be objective about this? You should only use your emotion. It's like get right, be quiet. Like learn to wipe your ass first. Then we can have real conversation, you know? But
But
that
don't
being
you
said,
feel things
he
like you have no idea what I felt, child?
so now this comes out that at the Jericho Cruise in January 2020, Chris Jericho got into an altercation with MVP, and MVP knocked him out. So that makes that makes the hotel thing that happened afterwards make a lot more sense. And it also makes it really funny to hear that Chris Jericho scurried away and screamed out. You're like, I don't fight jobbers. You're like, you already got knocked out. So no, you don't fight jobbers. He knocked you out. It wasn't much of a fight.
Whenever you
But
say scurried away, I just imagine hearing like the Looney Tunes sound effect when the characters run.
I imagine he MVP was like, yo, what was all that shit you were talking on Twitter? And I mean, MVP's from the kind
Yo,
of place
where
I'm
is your
from.
wife on
So,
January
like,
6th?
yeah. You know, I mean, MVP's from the kind of place we're from, and
Going there.
I kind of imagine he's like, you know, what the fuck were you saying on Twitter? Like, say that shit now. Like, I'll knock your ass out again. And Jericho's like, don't insult me. You know, like, you know how that shit goes. He scurries away, gets in the elevator, and then as it closes, screams out, I don't fight jobbers. And he's probably like high-fiving his friends and shit. Like, if he did.
You got him, bro. You got him.
You got him, bro. I brought that up because it reminded me of the mid 2000s shoot interview bullshit that you hear, like what Booker T and Batista got into a fight backstage, and what, like, he kicked who in the balls, like what, you know. That's when the internet wrestling community was still a like, no, I don't want to say like it was a community. It wasn't like kumbaya, you know, like we weren't all fucking hugging and holding hands. And
In
you
fact,
know,
there were a lot of beefs.
you know what it, and sometimes, a lot of times, it involved the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Those old school Ring of Honor online beefs on the message boards and the forums and shit.
Ooh.
That was like the internet wrestling community I grew up in, and it was a much smaller group of people. It was the minority, and we had our thoughts, but it was a smaller group. And I feel like that smaller group of people, there was a bigger percentage of the group that knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it was almost like the territories era of wrestling community, because you had to be on specific message boards too.
Yeah. I frequented my own, you know, I frequented wrestling TV. It wasn't as popular as some of the other ones, but I used to show up on DVD.
Oh, so you were in the Portland territory.
Yeah, you know, right? I was in the Portland territory. Nobody really knew me, but the people
We
there,
knew Roddy Piper and nobody else.
I was over, brother. I was over. No, the fucking I would show up. You know what I would do? I would show up in other forums, but I wouldn't show up. I would read through them. I was like, in wrestling TV, I had reverence. Okay, when I posted something, people responded. Okay,
John's the kind of wrestler that just stayed in the Portland territory, just like, that Piper kid's gonna get signed eventually, and then it's my turn.
It's a matter of time.
So I would go on like the DVDR or the Poodle Strong Style Symphony,
same thing.
Poodle Wrestle Fan. Yeah, same shit, right?
Yeah.
And I would read, but I was more known, I guess, on my own little forum. But the point was that smaller group of fans, and I feel like it was a better quality conversation. There were better quality conversations to be had in these smaller groups, and the advent of larger, all-encompassing social media took the forum concept and turned it into like, it's everybody's thing now. It's the living room. It used to be the attic or the basement.
Yeah.
now it's the fucking living room. And so now the IWC, the internet wrestling community, in internet wrestling
I'd
community.
argue it's
Like,
worse than the living room. Right now, it's just the lobby of an upscale hotel.
yeah, it's outside almost public. People
Right,
spitting
right.
on the fucking ground,
It's a
and then
fucking
the
The
dudes
gazebo.
in
little courtyard in between all the apartments.
the dudes in the corner wiping shit on the wall, and the fucking homeless people over here, and the nut jobs over here that actually get attention. Like, why are people following him? It's
Chicago.
it's a lot. It's so low quality now, man. It's and there's so many people who don't have that same upbringing in the forums, and they don't understand forum behavior, right? And so
I'd argue a lot of it, which sounds so it sounds so fucking how do you say boomery, but I'd argue a lot of it's because a lot of they didn't have to work for it.
they didn't have to work for it. You just got online, you said a couple interesting things, and everybody saw it, right? If
Yeah.
if I had put as much effort into my thoughts on X Twitter as I did when I was in the forums back then, I would be a very famous talking head now. But
Remember,
I
There's
didn't
also
know.
not enough.
and
There's
those-
also not enough smarter people, because that's what would happen to you in those old message boards. There's not enough smarter people telling you you're wrong and exactly why.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
too. Like, if you post, the more you posted, and the more people that would like comment and agree and reply to those different posts, like you would sometimes level up in those different forums, and a lot of
Yeah.
times your opinions would hold a lot of weight.
Like, oh yeah, this guy might
Oh,
know what
yeah.
he's talking about. He's a red belt.
Exactly.
100%. Look at his signature. It looks so sick, right? How long has he had it, right? Like,
He's got that
Oh,
many
this dude
posts
knows
and
who
comments.
Liger is. He knows what the fuck he's talking about.
He's got
so
those badges. Oh my goodness.
so I really mourn for those days, because that's where quality smart mark conversations happen,
Yeah.
and I feel like
we
that
are
is-
having the fan version of the conversation the wrestlers always have, where it's just like you used to have to ride in the cars with the vets and they would teach you
know?
things.
Yeah.
you know
And now
And
it's
now
just
you-
all these indie kids who just coming and think they know what the fuck they talking about.
it's
oh my
crazy
gosh, are we the
because
boomers?
Yes.
we're the boomers, but there's a legitimate decline in conversation and in the whole fucking fan base, because the beyond just the IWC, even the casuals,
Yeah.
because the fucking small group of people had such quality ideas that when they did get heard and when they did get listened to, it was like it was a big deal. When CM Punk was spewing the voice of the voiceless crap, those voiceless people, maybe, I mean, the group was a little bit bigger than even then.
There was a little bit
Like-
of venom under that one.
We had we had already grown a little bit past the IWC, but it was still a smaller group, and the ideas were still quality, and the things that people wanted out of the WWE, they weren't like, it wasn't muddied up. The ideas weren't fucking what's the word? It's like muddied up. There's a word for muddied up. They fucking spoiled the one apple that spoils the bunch. Like, they were good apples back then, and CM Punk could take those apples and talk about them on TV, and it was like a good deal. Nowadays, you can't take what's on the internet seriously, because it's too fucking. There's no quality control. There's just the dumbest shit you've ever fucking heard in your life, and it's liked by 10,000 people,
Yeah.
and you're like, what the flying fuck?
Saturation of bad opinions.
Yeah.
That must be a good opinion. Maybe I was thinking wrong. Some people
I
don't.
wanted to-
I was just gonna say, some people don't process that there can be 10,000 dumb people, like 10,000
Oh, God,
very
yeah.
stupid people can absolutely like and create a small little echo chamber of stupidity
Oh yeah.
on their own.
Yeah.
You can't get sucked into that shit, and that's. I was
Have
gonna
you
say,
heard? Have you heard some of the mainstream music? Of course they can.
And that's one of the worst things too, is because then we start getting into those like logical community fallacies that happen when it just is like, more people agree with me, so I'm the one that's right and not you.
yeah, and you see that, and then you're seeing smarter people, like educated people, like an Eric Bischoff, use this same, like, to creating echo chambers of stupidity on purpose to make money off of.
Sure.
And it's really lowered the fucking quality of this fan base. I can't express that enough. I think it's done damage, like business damage, to pro wrestling, like real damage.
I just wanted to add to, I guess, enhance the credit of some of the older guys that we used to have. Some of those guys were so smart that they got jobs in the industry.
Absolutely.
Rob Naylor is the one that comes to mind. I believe there were a few more, but like some of those message boards guys actually got into the industry just because they convinced the right people that like they knew what they were talking about.
And one of those message board guys, he was born with a lot of money, and he eventually used that knowledge that he got on these boards. And like I said, quality knowledge. You could have really gone into a forum as a wrestler in the mid 2000s and improved your fucking game by asking questions, you know?
Yeah.
And you would have got quality responses, and you'd have been like, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna become better. And so
I also want to add that around that time, later into it, but around that time, we had the industry had also very much gotten into the industry or into the habit of selling knowledge.
yeah, those are those cool shoot interviews. I lived.
Ring of Honor was selling the secrets of the ring. I know because I had multiples of them.
I lived on those shoot interviews. I don't think
Yeah.
we get in. I don't think we get any of them anymore. Like because people just tweet
Not to
the
that
things
degree.
that happen as they happen.
Honestly, too, like when you think about it, those quality of those like shoot interviews and whatnot really dropped around the same time frame.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's a similar decline. Like if you were to put the charts together, the lines would drop at the same exact time.
Yeah.
I feel like the last good shoot interview we got was Moxley when he left WWE. He did like the old school. I left WWE and immediately did a 4-hour podcast about everything I hated in this company and all the things that happened to me. And
That's with his wife.
No, that's the one he did with Jericho.
Yes, okay.
Like after Double or Nothing, where that's where such good shit, pal. Finally, that's where such good shit came from.
Yes, you're right.
To CM Punk and Koga Man probably peaked the concept, honestly. But I said all that to take us into the conversation where I was going to say, one of us forum board members eventually goes on to create a fucking national wrestling company and now we have AEW. And sometimes people call him a sicko, and I think I like that word because sometimes this sicko Tony Khan books the show and it's like specifically for the mid 2000 forum freaks like us, like and old people, those older heads, the Eric Bischoffs, and I mean to some extent the Jim Cornette, but Jim Cornette is like, that doesn't even need to be said at this point. Like, it goes without
But at the
saying.
same time, Jim Cornette was booking mid 2000s for wrestling.
Yeah, like and
it's not like he wasn't kind of there.
And he got exposed a little bit in the mid 2000s as to how his time had passed, because his version of Ring of Honor, while it had high spots, started to become known as Smoky Mountain of Honor, and people were getting a little bored with his idea of what the top of the card looks like, as evidenced by me falling asleep in the crowd at the 10th anniversary show. But I digress. My point was that he's Tony Khan. Tony Khan was a message board baby like some of us, and sometimes he gets on Twitter and it is a forum. It's still a forum, and he absolutely engages it like he's still on the message boards. And me personally, I'm like, yes. Why? Yes.
I remember talking like that.
That's me. I see me.
One of us.
I laugh because Tony Khan, what happened, I guess let's explain it from the beginning and then relate it to myself. Sure. The USA Network account responded to a Raj Giri tweet about Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal. And they were like, what's the cage match rating? Hi. They were being snarky and funny.
Yeah.
About a quote Tony Khan had made before. About, looking at cage match ratings. Because again, going back to what I said, he is a message board freak. Like, me. But or like us. But
Also, brand social medias have become increasingly snarky over the past few years.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Wendy's.
Yeah, right.
so Tony Khan responds a day later, probably, and first thing he tweets out, a double standard. Hook's 28-1 career record on a winning streak calls out the champ. A logical challenge sparks online outrage. Jinder has literally lost every single match he's in for the past year. Immediately gets title shot. Where's the rage? Then he responds directly to the USA Network account. Where's the cage match rating tweet? He says a moral victory for USA is one win more than their world title challenger Jinder Mahal has had in the past 364 days. Because it's literally been a full year since he won a match. You really put AEW in our place getting Jinder Mahal a big match on your TV show. Do it more often. Immediately that people are like, God, it's unprofessional. He's being a child. How dare he? He is a billionaire. He is a billionaire, damn it. And I think I will actually I would like you guys to respond afterwards, I guess.
Okay.
Once I'm done. Because this is just my point of view. I'm not being objective about it or anything.
Just before you go on, real quick, who is the one?
The one? What do you mean? Like Jet Li? See, so there's a multiverse of Jet Li's. Oh, the one, Jack Perry, when he cheated on Dynamite to steal his FTW title.
Yes. Okay.
He wins it back, and then Brawl In happens. So
damn, I have really forgotten about Jack Perry in these past few months.
That's perfectly okay.
They wanted.
I mean,
Jack
it is,
yes. I think that's better for him as a wrestler because he would. No, maybe. Fuck you, maybe. No, it's better for him. It's better for him. You fucking CM. I don't trust you, fucking CM Punk fans, and your opinions about people he had beef with.
No, I was just genuinely.
I don't take them at face value anymore. No. No, have you noticed that everybody who had beef with CM Punk now is a bad wrestler? Hangman, bad wrestler, guy sucks. Young Bucks, they all suck. Jack Perry always sucked.
So you can't loop me in with that. You knew my opinions on Adam Page way before Punk got signed.
I know you've been wrong for years now. There's
you can call me wrong all you want, but it's been consistent.
We're all wrong sometimes. Some of us more than others, but that's not your fault.
Listen, I've been consistent. That's my point. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it.
No, you shouldn't. No, where the fuck were we talking about? Goddamn Tony Khan, goddamn it. So he responded to USA Network, and in my mind, I'm like, yeah, fair game. It's snarky, it's funny, but that's an official USA Network account. Like, there's perception issues there, and they're laughing. And he responded in my eyes because I came from that place where it's like, that's a logical response. It didn't say Jinder Mahal fucking sucks and he's a bad fucking wrestler, and Hook is way better than him.
A bad person.
And Jinder Mahal's a bad person, and he was talking about him. He was talking bad about America. What's wrong with you people?
He trusts his grandmother.
He didn't save his mom in a fire.
Oh my god!
He didn't pull the Chris Masters.
No, in my mind, because in my mind it was a logical response, and that's because that's what I would have done. Because that's how I would have responded if I had $1 in my pocket or if I had several gazillion dollars in my pocket. I would have responded. This is a gift. If I'm Tony Khan as me with the way I think, and I get online, and
what John is saying is this is why he doesn't have the job.
This is probably why. But then I see now I see him, and I'm like, no. I feel good. I could have done.
I can have the job.
I can have this job.
A perfect fit.
If I'm Tony Khan, me, and I get online every day, and I tweet, like, happy birthday, mom. And every fucking comment is AEW's gonna die tomorrow. You fucking stink. You're a drug addict. Your wrestlers you suck. CM Punk fucked you in your ass. Like all the I just said happy birthday to my mom. I feel like I'm allowed to say it wasn't happy birthday to his mom. It was something about his mom. It was something completely unrelated to this fucking wrestling. About
something nothing to do with wrestling.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
It tends to always target those ones in particular.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't take it seriously. Like, I don't care how they feel, but I feel like I deserve to tweet whatever the fuck I want to tweet out. Like, have you seen this place? Have you seen the way these people speak to me? So when an official fucking USA Network, Comcast Universal social media account has a joke about me now, not no fucking useless 23 IQ pro wrestling fan who's fucking on a team. I'm team WWE for life. You're talking about the actual intern person that gets paid. Right?
Yeah.
I can fucking respond if I fucking want to. And that was a very calm response, because I would have tweeted some whole other, you can't be in the top 10 without Monday Night Raw, good luck. Like, I would have done some whole other shit. I think that is a fine response.
And this is why we are Dirt Sheet Radio, not a multi-million-dollar wrestling
I can say,
company.
but again, you can be a multi-billion-dollar wrestling company and tweet these things, because guess what? It doesn't fucking matter. That is not going to hurt your fucking rating tomorrow. As a matter of fact, it appeals directly to the sick freaks that are going to watch this damn thing on Wednesday. Right? So I don't have an issue with it. But I know you're older than me, Greg, from 16 generations in the past, possibly.
Fuck yourself.
I would really like to hear your side of this conversation.
There are parts of that in which I agree with you. I don't think it was as bad as people think it was. In fact, I found myself in a position where I said, I do not have the luxury of being angry, as what he said, because those are the exact same things I said when they put the belt on that motherfucker. I was the guy who looked up his cage match history and said, the man hasn't won a match in this many months, and the last few matches he had all ended in L's in under 5 minutes. His last match was months ago. It was a 2-minute loss to Sami Zayn, and you're telling me that he was able to last 17 minutes with Randy Orton? Go fuck yourself.
And pin him.
Right.
And pin his shoulders to the mat.
Right. And granted, like, again, that was like, you could argue all sorts of directions where it's like, oh, the Bollywood boys and the interference and the cheating, blah, blah, blah. Fine. You're telling me the guy who couldn't last 2 minutes with Sami Zayn lasted 17 minutes with Randy Orton. To me, that's just a logical fallacy that makes me feel like you've insulted me as a fan, as someone who watches this show, right? If this was any other television show, you would cry foul. If you were watching, if you were watching Game of Thrones and the fucking child starts beating up the mountain, you would cry foul.
It's the truth.
Yep.
So like, why am I not allowed? And I can get into all sorts of issues with that, because you run into that wall of just like, well, wrestling's fake. Why do you care so much? Because the negativity about how phony wrestling is has led to a mindset where it's like, well, nothing matters. Why not just be stupid?
That's nihilism, pro wrestling wise.
Yeah, and there is a lot of that, but even if the argument is that it's unprofessional, and it probably is, I can't say it's wrong.
I guess when you sign the checks, right?
Yeah.
And you can't get fired. Right?
Danielson can't write you a certificate to sign. He can't give you tickets.
The idea of professional versus unprofessional is like, you have to set an example, right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I can be like, okay, if you weren't considering that when you tweeted this, because I guess you have to set an example.
Right.
But in this particular situation, what example is being set? Like, I don't. This isn't like Tony Khan tweeting out that Britt Baker sure needs to start doing some more work if she wants to be back on TV. Like, this isn't like the way the wrestlers, the way the wrestlers use Twitter. Like, I haven't had enough TV time. Like the example, like what would be the example being set here in this particular situation? Don't talk back.
So I wanted to use by comparison that, like, you can argue that you can see the very strict media training in the way the WWE guys try to say things they want to say without really saying it.
Yeah.
I get that's something that obviously exists on that side that doesn't exist in AEW. Is there an irony to having your boss go off on the cuff when you just had Bryan Danielson start laying down fines and
rules and regulations?
Fines and consultations as far as the wrestlers' use of social media? That doesn't help you, no. But
as like one of those things where I guess the boss can do it, but I can't. So then now we start dropping morale. I do want to say I have an interesting perspective because the night Jinder Mahal defeated Randy Orton, I was there. I was in the crowd.
What? Just take me back to that dark place.
So here's the thing. The moment that happened, and you could probably see this on the pay-per-view, but especially like from my setting, because where I was sitting, it was facing the stage. And everyone that was facing the stage alongside us got right up, left. Everyone was leaving right at that point.
Oh, shit.
Nobody liked it. Literally.
Really? It wasn't like an ironic reaction? Like, wow.
People legitimately, everyone got up and started leaving. And usually I like to try and get out too, just to beat traffic. And it wasn't one of those things because legitimately people were pissed. Like backstage throughout the Rosemont Horizon, the Allstate Arena, everyone,
you call it what you want.
Exactly. It's the Rosemont Horizon, let's be real. But everyone was just like, yeah, this sucks. This is terrible. And then it was really fun too, was everyone talking and being like above and beyond, like, how come he gets to be champion and we never got like Piper is champion, DiBiase's not an official champion. Like there's all those names being thrown out there. And it's like, really, Jinder of all people? And I have never been in such an angry audience before, which says a lot because when there's a mob mentality in Chicago and people are upset, it's best to get away from there.
Mob mentality in Chicago? What?
We're supposed to
put that lighter away. No.
The chain down.
But yeah, even like when you're leaving the arena, people were outside. They were pissed. They were yelling. It was crazy. I've never seen a wrestling show like that before.
I think that I personally had like zero issue with it. I think that a lot of the people who had an issue with it was performative. They just kind of wanted to gotcha. Look, he's being petulant. I just learned that word.
So if there was an opportunity to establish a ceiling, I would ask you, has there ever been a moment where you probably looked at a Tony Khan tweet and just said, okay, that's too much?
I don't know about too much. Sometimes, like with this one, the first tweet, I was like, oh shit, where'd that come from? Because I forgot that USA Network even tweeted that. And he tweeted he tweeted the double standard tweet first. And I was like, why did he tweet? I mean, and I was like, well, he's got a point, but why did he tweet that? Like, what was the point of tweeting? Why would he say that? And at that point, that was the first time I thought, like, why the fuck would he tweet that? And then I saw that it was the response to the USA Network account. And I was like, oh, well, then fuck that. Like, fuck that. All gloves are off. It came directly from USA Network. That's going to be my thing this whole time. It came from the USA Network. Fuck you. I'm going to fucking respond to you garbage ass number 9 in the top 10 cable channel.
So I'm going to bring this up because I think there's something amusing about it. And it has nothing to do with defending or condemning. It's simply a matter of perspective. I think it's amusing that it's the same. You sort of get the same conversations about some of the Punk stuff, where you can say, there's a lot of chatter about more chatter about Khan's reaction to it than to the inciting incident.
Yeah. There's so many different reasons why people feel the way they feel. Sometimes it's genuine.
Sure.
Sometimes it's a subconscious hate for billionaires. Sometimes it's
which I can't even completely hate on.
I mean, I understand. Like, there's no billionaire. I for a long time I feel like there's no billionaire that doesn't have skeletons in their closet. Like, there's just
plus
no way.
remember too, like the whole everything about Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It's all about hating those types of, upper echelon millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah.
So consistently in every community, they're like that. So it's very easy to dehumanize someone like a Tony Khan and forget that's a real person who is probably constantly seeing hate no matter what it is that they're tweeting about or talking about.
Sure. And it's probably like I'm speculating and just making stuff up, but is probably just an incredibly anxiety-ridden young man.
Yeah, he's already got to deal with stuff with AEW, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Fulham.
The respect of his father. I'm kidding.
I said before, I feel bad for ever having made the fucking cocaine joke in the first place, because I thought...
Oh, you were not the only one.
I thought it was funny for the first couple of seconds until people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about started using it. I was like, okay, now it's become like what I thought was like a one-off funny joke, like he was really shifty that one time. It became like people are like the real criticism of the man. Like,
oh no,
he's got to stop doing drugs. Like, whoa, wait, what the fuck? Like, I thought we were joking.
Defining characteristic.
Jesus
As
Christ!
If someone has actually seen him do it.
Yeah, like no, it's gonna come. I know for a fact it's gonna come out that he's got a neurodivergency, and people are gonna they're gonna have to delete a whole lot of tweets. Like, have to fucking Ariel Hawani, you fucking scumbag.
Oh my god.
No, he's just soft. You're just a bitch. He's not a scumbag. He's just a pussy.
Ariel Hawani is out here pissing off billionaire.
I had tweeted that
billionaire company owners.
Just to close it off, I had tweeted that like this is exactly how I expected one of us message board freaks to become if we ever ended up in charge of a fucking national wrestling company. And it's like I would defend the shit out of my company on like 100%. My camera died. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
I
don't make the mistake of trying to defend your company on logic.
I don't understand the people too that are just like, why is he talking about why is the promoter promoting his company? It's like, what do you think he's gonna do?
Why doesn't he worry about what's going on in the company? Like, no, like when he took 5 minutes to tweet, the whole company fucking fell apart, right? Shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, this is the corniest shit.
You see the ones too, because Dax responded, I think, to Bischoff.
Oh no.
That's a whole thing too. It's not just fans. Eric Bischoff. Like, Eric
Bischoff was
fucking
really getting
Bischoff.
involved in it.
How dare you fucking hypocrite loser, 2-time loser. Like, how did you let this go?
Literally. And everyone's just like, but for 83 weeks, he was successful. It's just like, okay, number one, that was not an original storyline. Number two, what happened literally like 3 years later?
Name. All right. NWO, Goldberg, Sting.
I've never heard of like a company or anybody hang on so tightly to something so minuscule as 83 weeks.
I whipped their ass for 2 years, dog. For 2 years. I think I could have done it. I could have done what? I could have done it.
You've been out of business for 20. Why are we still talking about those?
No, but then he tried again. It's not even like it. No. Fuck. I forgot. He is a 3-time loser.
I was gonna say 3-time because like, do we count him coming back to WCW?
I forgot. He failed so hard in WWE. Like, I forgot that happened. They gave him a whole show and he fucked it. This guy
that's
is
what you mean.
yeah. They gave him SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
Or was it they gave him SmackDown?
Was
They gave him
booking
SmackDown, and Heyman got Raw.
No, he was the executive direct. They created a position for him and Paul Heyman. Heyman would be the full-on head of Raw, and that's when he was doing all the cuck angles and all that weird shit. And Bischoff
the more
would
recent
do
one.
the SmackDown thing.
That
I
was huge
completely
news when
forgot
that
that happened with Bischoff. I remember Heyman because then Heyman ended up having beef with AJ.
Yeah, because they fired Carl Anderson after Heyman told him he'd be okay.
Yeah. I remember that. Okay, I remember that, and people saying that like the Heyman show wasn't working out.
It wasn't. Heyman.
Eric Rowan and his giant spider.
I completely forgot that Bischoff was on the other one.
Lana was a lesbian with Liv Morgan.
Paul, you love your lesbian angles.
Because remember too, it was interesting in the sense that we're all, I think, so used to the idea that Bischoff was running Raw back in like the Ruthless Aggression era, and Heyman was SmackDown. So it was so interesting that it was switched around when they came back.
And that it was real, and that it was
legitimate too. That was a crazy time.
All that to say, Eric Bischoff is a loser, and his opinions and ideas come from a business place. Like his grift is that he actually is smart enough to put together a string of words that sounds like it makes sense.
Okay. Like he has the gift of gab, you're saying.
If you listen to his podcast, you would think that this guy absolutely knows. He says AEW is gonna die. He knows everything. He's got 83 reasons why nothing in AEW is gonna work. Mercedes won't make an impact.
Sounds like a Netflix show.
CM Punk won't do anything, and this is why. And it's like, bro, your grift is so obvious, but this fan base is so low quality that they can't even see it. So I am actually glad that Tony Khan tweeted these things, because normal people can see what the fuck is going on.
Remember that time when Bischoff was just like, oh, the only way that they're gonna ever be able to sell out Wembley was gonna be if they booked the main event as Goldberg and Punk.
Goldberg and Punk is the only way to sell out Wembley Stadium. Yes, it is. You can look that up.
Oh wow.
That's
your hero. I can be your hero, baby.
But going back to what I was mentioning earlier, though, like Dax sent something that made sense. That was like from an old like Nitro promo where he was talking about like how he's all in control and he's challenging Vince McMahon to a fight on pay-per-view. And then everyone is thinking it's this great clapback. They're just like, this you. And it's the clip from when like Cash was like shaving his back in WWE for like a promo where like the Usos were watching and recording it. It's just like, this isn't the clap you think it is. This is literally the bad creative from the other company that made them leave.
And I'm telling you, and I'm pretty sure that had like 500 likes because everybody is fucking dumb. I can't even. I am not culturally allowed to call you what I think of you anymore. That's how fucking dumb this fan base is. The collective average IQ of this fucking fan base cannot be more than the freezing temperature. Like, it can't be. It can't be. I refuse to believe that. It's sickening being online. I hate that I have to.
There's a reason advertisers hate wrestling fans.
I hate that I can't be myself because I have to baby walk you.
There's a reason they don't think we're smart enough to buy anything more than canned ravioli.
You're fucking dumb because you're fucking dumb. You're the reason why we don't get cool commercials because you're fucking dumb. Not you, Greg.
I'm not gonna hate on. No, I was gonna say I'm not gonna hate on Chef Boyardee either. I'm just
Chef Boyardee is my go.
Great commercial. It's a great commercial. Rolling all the way home.
In wrestling.
Get the ravioli can rolling home. I need that to play again.
Y'all remember the Attitude Era when like every top wrestler did something with Chef Boyardee?
With Chef Boyardee, because that's the fucking fan base. Damn it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they don't think we're smart enough to do it to buy anything more than canned ravioli. And you know what's kind of funny when you think about it too?
The Got Milk commercials were good too.
Yes, but like what's even funnier if you were to really like just lean in and just like examine how bad it could actually come off. The fact that one of the bigger sponsorships is fucking like Stacker 2. It's like, you know what wrestling fans need? A fat burner. Bunch of fat.
A bunch of fat, uneducated, stupid, poor pieces of shit. You know
all
what we're
need to
gonna
lose
advertise?
weight. Stack or two.
We advertise weight loss, cheap cars, and anything you can buy with food stamps. This is pro wrestling. God damn it.
Oh my goodness. I made the mistake of just opening up Twitter. I completely forgot too. Then
Why would you do that?
Eric Bischoff brings Dave Meltzer into everything too.
Oh, I forgot Dave Meltzer scorched him. Oh, shit.
Are
Eric
we siding
Bischoff.
with Meltzer now?
Eric Bischoff, I know you're never going to catch me for no reason. It'll have to. He would have to be wrong. I would, which it happens a lot. You're never gonna catch me being like, I hate everything he says. I've been listening to him for too long. Meltzer? He raised me in this world like a baby. I remember, like a baby. They coddled me. They put me in their arms and Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. they give me the 3-hour Chris Benoit podcast, and we go to sleep together. No, seriously. I listened to the rest of.
I was more
of
the
500
page Screwjob manifesto.
I printed that out. I printed out the Observer Screwjob issue. I printed that out. I actually did. I got a subscription. I paid for it. I
John
went to
puts
that
it next
shit.
to his most prized comic books.
But I mean, that should say I learned, like, lately he's gotten old and his opinions are really screwed and he's lost he's really lost the plot on a lot of things. But even then, his beef with Eric Bischoff goes way back. And most times it's simply Eric Bischoff's hate that Meltzer reported on the things that happened backstage.
Right.
And he, sorry, that's just the way it was. Scott Steiner punched Jeff Jarrett in the face. The fuck you want me to say about it? Like, he did it. It happened. Like, sorry. So yeah, Meltzer already had preloaded heat for Bischoff. He was ready for him. Like,
and Meltzer had nothing to do with this. Bischoff just randomly started attacking him too.
It's like he went to go randomly attack him, and Meltzer pulls out a loaded tweet gun.
Which then led to everyone else jumping on the attack Meltzer bandwagon as well, since that's what we do here is bandwagon. And then Meltzer just one by one is just tweeting back at them with factual information, which is pretty fun.
That's all it ever is. He'll just respond to you like, but I actually remember you bragging about having a fucking average year of 5,400 tickets. And like, it's fucking great how factual and numerical a clapback could be, because you can't disprove it. You just have to move on. You just have to take the spanking and move on. But yeah, that was Twitter, wrestling Twitter. It's a small little app where nobody lives, but all of the wrestlers are on there engaging. So that's where all of the engagement happens. So we got to live there too. I know it's like, I don't want to be on Twitter because, it sucks. Well, you should get off. And it's like, no, not if I want to do this, I can't. Unfortunately, I have to live there and navigate it.
Literally, this entire business model does not work without Wrestle Twitter.
Yeah, unfortunately, the hope is that Twitter just dies and either wrestlers get off of social media or they go back to the old ones. So
you just end up on Sky or whatever.
Blue Sky.
Common sense and a little bit of a background in professional marketing can indicate Twitter's been on a downturn for a while now, even before the Elon era.
Yeah, but its cultural relevance is almost higher than ever. The only thing is that TikTok is gaining popularity, but I feel like even TikTok has plateaued, and both of them kind of exist parallel to each other. Like, TikTok and Twitter are not really competing as much as they just exist as two big conglomerates. And Facebook,
remember, things like this happen all the time. Look back at what AOL gave us. Look back at what MySpace gave us. These things eventually will burn out over time.
Everything does.
Speaking of which, Meltzer brought up a very interesting factoid that
can't be good.
Pretty much, if AEW Dynamite, and it obviously will, can get past April of 2025, they've officially outlasted Nitro.
Really? That's gonna be quite a day on the wrestling social media.
Yeah,
Now
so
that is something I look
Dynamite,
forward to.
when Dynamite hits May 2025, it's longer running than Nitro.
I see. I want to be able to just be like sports fans. Like you sports fans, you pick your team and you say the dumbest fucking outlandish evil shit to the other team's ace, and it's like it doesn't fucking matter. Nobody cares. It's fun, but you can't do that. I can't do that shit in wrestling because then people are like, "But you're biased," and I can't believe this shit. This is the stupidest fucking TV show you can find. Why? Why have to be biased or unbiased? I hate this shit. I want to be like, fuck Eric Bischoff when Mercedes finally shows up on Dynamite. I want to laugh in the face of so many people. God damn it. Speaking of speaking of all that shit, people are really split on this Cody Rhodes, Dwayne Johnson
Rhodes
situation. Dwayne Johnson returns to the WWE, teases a match with Roman Reigns, and immediately everybody's like, main event of WrestleMania has to be.
Yeah.
And I guess I understand the thought process there, but I think that Cody's main event spot is probably much more important to the future of the company than The Rock's match with Roman, which the moment has passed to do that at WrestleMania. I'm sorry.
Several opportunities for the last several years.
He fucked himself. You know, somebody. I imagine Terrence Howard coming back before Endgame, like not even before Endgame, after Endgame, after we. I want to be Rhodey now. No, the whole world knows fucking Don as Don Cheadle as Rhodey now. That's done. You'll be lucky if we can fit you in here somewhere. And that's where Dwayne is now. Like, you want to come back now? And it's not, I don't even think it's his choice. I think that the
Hollywood
report
comes up and whatnot.
Yeah, you know, the schedules and shit. But no, last year's WrestleMania, he had not last year's, the year before that, where he kind of admitted that they were negotiating it and they were apart on good creative. We could not come up with the right creative. He didn't want to do the job. Right. Right. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, man. What could possibly have been the disagreement on creative other than I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose this way. Why?
I love how he makes it so big too. Is like I wanted to tell a story that we haven't done. It's something that would be fresh and brand new. It's just like
so you wanted to pin Roman. That's your idea. like that's your fresh take. So what if the legend comes back and pins the guy who's been on top for 1,000 plus days? That's new and fresh, but
never been done.
Never been done.
They never expect it.
Yeah, fuck you. It's over for that.
Speaking of which, this kind of rewinds us back a little bit. Another one of those arguments people have been throwing out there too is, look at how viral Jinder Mahal went, though. When did Hook ever go this viral? You know, when The Rock comes back.
When Punk.
Send Hook?
Exactly. Like, it's this dumb argument. And everyone, too, is looking, it's like, I wonder, it can't be the returning legend that's this huge movie star everyone knows and loves. It's got to be Jinder Mahal. Just don't get me started, because all of a sudden, after Tony Khan's tweet, all the people that tweet support for Jinder, like if Tony shot him, we love Jinder. Please, Jinder is great. Don't hinder Jinder is fine. Like, the meme is the meme. Like, oh no, Tony's trying to hinder Jinder. Stop him. That's fine. Like, that's funny. But then it's like Corey Graves, like, Jinder rules. And like all these fucking WWE accounts, like, we love you, Jinder. You'll be okay. Like, bro, he's okay. You'll be fine. He got booked like a fucking jobber for a year. He got a world title match. Somebody asked a question about it. He'll be okay. Like, fuck you. Don't get me started on that shit. Fucking Cody. God fucking damn it. This camera is killing me because it's on a charger, and the pressure of the charger wire is
facing the other way. This is bullshit.
Under pressure.
Hello.
I cannot stress enough how important it is to Cody to walk out of WrestleMania with that freaking belt.
Finally.
Um,
Which a lot of people argue should have happened already.
some will argue that. I am absolutely happy with it going for another year. Mostly because it means he gets to break one of the Hogan records. Totally good with me. I don't see a situation where Cody doesn't walk out of WrestleMania without the belt. Like, I don't see a situation where Cody walks out of WrestleMania without the belt and he survives as a character.
There's a little known wrestler from the 90s.
A little known wrestler.
His name was
Oh boy.
Lex fucking Luger. And I think that there's a fairly similar trajectory here. If Cody doesn't get fully
Both of them
realized,
draped in the flag.
if they go through this whole thing where he actually lost, he had to go through adversity to fucking come back to WrestleMania, and then he like loses at the Royal Rumble or some shit, doesn't get the match, and Dwayne gets the match. You like look at this man. Like this shit is done.
dead.
He's
Still
gonna win the title.
Have him celebrate following the DQ.
Dead.
He's
No,
gonna
they
win
got
the
out.
title at like SummerSlam or something, and everybody's gonna come and lift him on their
It's not the
shoulders.
same.
And it is not gonna be the same.
Why are we celebrating?
It's not-
out.
There's a logical argument that The Rock versus Roman Reigns just is a bigger match. It's a bigger
Sure.
marquee match. It's a bigger Hollywood match, and it's
Sure.
much more important to the Bloodline story than Cody Rhodes is. And there's
I
no
think we
arguing
are way
that.
past it being the Bloodline story.
But like I said, I think the Bloodline story climaxed when the Usos fought Roman and Solo. All the shit that happened after that is stunk. Like people, that shit is non-canon. Like, don't even bring that shit up when we talk about the greatness of the Bloodline story. You don't talk about nothing after the Civil War. Just
You don't want-
we
wait, you
just
don't-
act like Jey Uso went solo and it was great. And
You don't want to talk
Jimmy
about
was injured.
You don't want to talk about Prince Solo, the heir apparent?
Oh fuck. But
That's exactly how he feels. He just went dark.
Jobber Jimmy Uso, who's been losing to LA Knight on the house show circuit lately.
The
But
heir
now, be hon-
apparent to the head of the table, Solo.
it doesn't matter how I feel about, honestly, just objectively speaking. If
Marty
the,
Uso.
the Cody
That
Rhodes
segment did nothing for you, did it?
nothing. Cody's WrestleMania moment is not
Finishing
some.
the story.
It's not gonna be. It's not. I hate even saying this shit, right? Because I'm being so objective. I have to give Cody the highest of the highest regard. This motherfucker is in place to become the guy, not the latest top world champion, not Seth Rollins, right? Not
Ooh.
sorry.
He's in a position to be something Seth Rollins probably
Wishes
should
he
never
was.
be now.
But he could never be. That's time has passed. That's
Yeah.
not his in Seth Rollins era.
NXT is already
Roman Reigns was the guy. Before Roman, John Cena, the guy. Austin, the guy. The Rock, the guy. And I don't even say The Rock, man. The Rock is
The Rock was the guy B.
similar to Seth
Here's
Rollins.
the guy when Stone Cold had to have surgery.
right?
Yeah.
It was Roman, Cena, Austin, Hogan, right? That's the line you can draw there. I don't think
Yes.
there's another guy, right? And then Bruno before Hogan. Cody is in line to be
Backlund.
that guy. And it's not even like a matter of opinion. Like, he's going to be that guy. No. His win over Roman at this WrestleMania needs to be the coronation of the guy. Because this is your next 10 years. You like, this is not The Rock and Roman.
This is your superhero babyface.
Yeah, this is literally
he is the second coming. Literally every show he's in.
he's fucking kissing babies and he is marrying people and he's
Politician,
fucking
Cody.
working 6 shows a night and shit. Roman's not here. Cody does all the top guy work. He does all the John Cena work, all this shit. He's already the top guy of the
Supposedly, he
company.
is also doing a lot of backstage work.
I don't know about that actually. I haven't heard much about that.
He claims he's done like producing stuff and whatnot.
Ah, fuck you, Cody.
Not Cody, Roman.
Oh, that actually that seems pretty cool. I'd like to see that.
That's bad. I can see Cody still doing that too.
Yeah, because I can see Cody being in the back, like, let me give you some advice, kid. And I just like,
Junior,
get the
let
fuck
me
like,
tell you what my
no!
father told me
no,
My
fuck you.
father said.
when I was younger.
And then you gotta go all the way back. You gotta hit him with the. You gotta really put your back into. Wow.
Make sure it's so far back that you like tear your back and become a legend in Chicago.
Oh my god.
The guy is the guy. I feel like the arm peck, that peck moment, man, that shit. He was already Vince had already strapped a really fucking strong rocket to Cody's back. And I don't know if Vince ever planned on actually doing it, but he had pushed him hard as fuck. And for Triple H to come and keep the momentum going. And that peck shit put him over the top.
That solidified, because remember too, Chicago will always boo the face, cheer the heel, but in that instance, it was just mad respect throughout the arena that night. And honestly, that also solidified through the IWC, who can also very much turn on you. But how can you not respect pushing through that pain?
That's an excellent moment for Cody's career, and I just feel like this would be an all-time fumble. Like this would be an all-time fumble if they really went with The Rock in Cody's place.
Question.
Okay.
Is it potentially possible that we could do
Okay.
one night Roman Rock, night 2 Roman Cody?
I was gonna say actually that would be the next logical thought. Like, why wouldn't we just do that? But we know now from fucking reports that The Rock, like the Australian government specifically requested The Rock for Elimination Chamber. So
I did not know about the government part.
Oh, you didn't?
I'm glad the government can make requests.
No, I did not.
Elimination Chamber purse getting lit, fellas.
Well, the way it works is that this isn't Vince McMahon's WWE anymore, right? That's obvious. No. But with that comes a lot of change.
Does he technically in any way possess a position in the company?
Yeah, he's the he's actually
okay.
What's happened is that his position is one. He's actually so high up now that he can't do these jobs. He actually oversees both WWE and UFC now.
Oh no. So like, well, that's more particularly my point. I know he has a job at TKO. Does he particularly have a job in the WWE?
Yeah, he's the guy who's going to Saudi Arabia, who's being the face of these big things. But I mean, he's using his previously established relationships to continue keeping WWE on track from a really high place. He's not quote unquote in the weeds. And
that almost feels like the way New Japan was treating Inoki those last few years.
Yeah, almost. I mean, he's not a full-on ambassador. Vince is still included, right?
But you know what I mean.
But he's old as fuck. He had surgery. I'm sure that his real involvement is like it can't be too much. Like there can't be.
I think too his eyes are pretty messed up lately.
Yeah.
Too, what I've heard.
Are they?
He's finally become one of those shadow heads. Like he's taking his place in business heaven. He sits in a chair, he makes money move around with the twist of a finger.
They're like, it's his company, but he don't come around here no more.
There's something about the WWE and Vince McMahon in particular that he's been able to take this pro wrestling and it's this silly thing and maneuver it into this powerful place in our fucking country. He's not just powerful like aura wise. Like the motherfucker has powerful friends. He can make things happen. He's got photos with powerful people that are powerful beyond politicians. Like
I was gonna say, he had made friends with the president years before he got there.
Like beyond like the Trump stuff. Like
Yeah,
that's
I'm just
like
saying that's one of them.
fucking, that's like an anomaly. Like that shouldn't have happened. but
Well, like
but
it's all
he's
the
friends. He's
it's all the
friends with
Trump
like
Tower stuff from back when.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's what he rubbed. I'm sure that's what he rubbed. Show these shadow people like
Yeah.
the fucking. What is it? What's that famous family? The Rockefeller, the Rothschilds.
Rothschilds.
Oh, the
Whatever
Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the old dude that just died? That used to really fucking famous. Nah, he wasn't famous, but he was one of those really powerful shadow people.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Fucking Triple H and Stephanie posting
Genghis?
pictures with him, like, oh, we're so sad to hear the passing. I'm like, yo, these are fucking wrestling promoters. Like, how the fuck? How do you take wrestling and turn it into real life influence and power like that? Like, that's a whole different kind of man.
Full dealings.
He's it's crazy. Give me a second. You guys talk while I get this dog inside. It's midnight.
I feel like when I look at the stuff for No Escape Perth or Elimination Chamber Perth, I feel like it's one of those.
Do they
like,
call it that in Australia?
Just for Germany.
Okay, I thought so.
But the main name is Elimination Chamber Perth. But
Yes,
I feel like it's one of those like Department of Tourism type things where they're like, imagine though what would happen if they were able to bring The Rock over, and then it's just like,
yeah,
that would be something very worthwhile. So then that adds to it, and then all of a sudden now The Rock's coming in, and they're gonna try and make this as crazy as they can because tourism dollars, especially.
I mean,
that might not always get pay-per-view events.
So I did the math, and what's crazy is for the PLEs this year, 5 of them are not in America.
Sounds about right.
About 5 out of what, the 13 in a year they run, so almost half.
Because you know what? When I look at the schedule for 2024, we got
We're running Backlash in France.
the Rumbles in Florida, Elimination Chambers in Australia. We got Mania here, and then Backlash France, Money in the Bank. That's
Which
pretty much
is
always
in
in Canada.
I'm glad this is what you're talking about because it's what I was trying to talk about
And
before I
then
walked away.
Bash
Money
in
in
Berlin.
the Bank is in Canada, right?
Yeah, and then Bash in
Yeah.
Berlin's in Germany.
Yeah.
Right. In Berlin, maybe. Possibly.
And then we have like our sort of,
Potentially.
and then we have like our yearly Saudi Arabia show.
Exactly.
shows. They got multiples of them motherfuckers.
Oh, we have multiple of them now. So
Yeah, they get like
Yeah,
2.
about 2. Yeah.
so now we've got 6 PLE events outside of America this year.
So I was gonna say what I was gonna say when Nick made the joke about the government having a say in these shows now is that they are paying. They're paying the WWE now. This is a fucking whole new world. Like this is a whole new level. Like you've got governments bidding for B shows. You got governments bidding for elimination chambers and backlashes and shit.
Tourism dollars.
They're paying fucking anywhere from hundreds of thousands to $1 million to get this company to their place. So they can have fucking say. They will.
They heard too that like, the Prince of Saudi Arabia can request these things. Can we do that too?
I do think it's interesting that they were able to use the Freedom of Information Act to get this information. Like we're using the Freedom of Information Act to get pro wrestling information to find out if The Rock is gonna be at Elimination Chamber.
This is exactly what it was meant for.
Perfect use of FOIA. This is what they thought of in 1967.
So they announced Sting's final. They didn't announce it. They strongly implied Sting's final match maybe against
Mature
Mario
Money
and Luigi. No, no, man. The Young Bucks come out. They stare down Sting and Darby Allin, and it's implied that they're going to be Sting's final opponent. To get into the nitpick, to get into the weeds of the situation, I thought like, wow, why the fuck did they play the Young Bucks old theme song over this? Look, like you really fucked up the vibe. You really
more slow
Was it
down,
supposed to be a new theme song?
Vibe.
Look at them. Look at these. What the fuck is this? They look like they're fucking 1990s Jersey mobsters. And they came out to their Super Kick Party.
I mean,
Bow,
yes, but my
bow.
opinion of these two people is that they're idiots anyway. So I whenever they dress up in some
That's
sort of way, I
dumb,
just
but
know
be
they're idiots.
objective. Like they came out, like, just be objective. They're not the Young Bucks. They're just wrestlers. They came out. It's a completely different look. It's a completely different vibe. And it's not like we just changed our mustache and we have a funny Elvis outfit on. It's a whole fucking they look like adults. You know, like they spent their whole career dressing in fucking tassels and we're the Young Bucks. And then they came out looking like grown ass men and they still got tassels flying on the screen and
Well, they spent
colors
the
flying
last 2
around and all
years
that
in
shit.
just Jordans and weird pants.
That's what I mean. Like that wasn't much different from what the fuck they were wearing before. It was colorful. It was weird. It was Jordans looking. We're cocky. We're cool. We don't give a fuck. Our clothes cost money. It doesn't matter. When they did change and they did turn a little heel, they were still the Young Bucks. They were just angry.
Same thing.
They were just angry now. You piece of
I will
shit
say,
for whatever reason.
I have been very critical of the Young Bucks over the years, and I've had times where I really didn't care for them. In this instance, presentation wise, especially, this is like the first time in a while I truly 100% dig them. At least from a presentation's perspective.
And I love them unconditionally, like children that I raised myself. When they do wrong, I can acknowledge they do wrong, and I'm just like, and I still love them. I'm just like, they've had a bad year, no longer a Bucks fan. It's like, no, I'm fucking Young Bucks.
The generation for me.
They're the fucking Young Bucks. They were so fucking popular that they had a whole tag division that couldn't fit them anymore. So they helped start this company. That I could go on forever. I mean, objectively, just as two wrestlers with a new gimmick, they would have been better to come out with no theme or like not a new, like you didn't have to just come out with new music because obviously you want people to recognize that it's the Young Bucks, but they're the Young Bucks. I mean, the fuck does it matter?
We mentioned this earlier on the Dynamite recap, but just imagine the power that would have had with these new, more mature looks, and they come out to no music.
None.
I liken it the same way I likened it to the angle they did for most of 2023 with the Street Profits. We put them in suits and nothing changed.
But men's suits, it's different.
Dude, no.
And this is as though it's not like the regular, like they're in suits now. Because I feel like too, like it's the whole scheme because they don't have like as a man with a crazy beard and mustache myself, they didn't really have that anymore. It was like a much more like refined look, like that one commercial that's on right now where it's just like ciao. They're in the fancy car and he's just a fancy Italian man.
For sure, Matt Jackson.
I'm not a fan of mustaches. They just look kind of goofy to me.
Matt Jackson has never been out here dressed like this. What is this look? He's got on a fucking tiny little gold chain. It's a fucking black on black suit. He looks like a mafia person. I don't know if that's what they intend to be. I'm just saying that I thought it was fairly obvious that they were not who they were the last time they were on television.
He said, Darby, give me the envelope.
I didn't realize how exasperated. Look at Darby. He is like, fuck.
I'm fucking tired.
I am tired.
I nearly died tonight.
For what? I want $1.
My neck literally just snapped like 2 minutes ago.
All right.
No, like they look like the same guys I used to get money from.
All right, so then getting away from the stupid theme song thing, which we can go on tangents forever here. This is Sting's final
John
match.
hates, by the way.
I can't.
Money.
Which is that?
You hate the theme song.
Oh, I've hated that theme song for a long time, for a very long time. I appreciate how their dad made it or whatever, but I'm very happy to get rid of it because they're gonna have to. It doesn't match this. But yes, it's Sting's final match at the Greensboro Coliseum. His final match ever. He means it. This is not a pro wrestling retirement. He says this is the one. His body can't take it. And
this is you're watching me barely saunter around the ring as it is.
You're lucky I do these crazy Darby-like spots.
I think that I'm like 90% sure that Sting was given the option for who he wants to have in his last match. I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out for sure soon enough. But going by what we know, I would assume so. I can only imagine that Sting thought to himself, who I can't do the singles match. He's actually said it in interviews. Like, I will not be doing singles matches anymore. And so the Sting versus Darby match that even I wanted, because it felt like the logical conclusion to Sting's run after all this. It just wasn't going to be possible. And then, you know what? I guess I get it. So now that
good quality, especially in comparison to what was previously that last match with Rollins.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure that scares the shit out of him. Like, I don't want to go out like this is it, and then I shit the bed. So now you've got to think, who's going to give me the best possible.
Was that his last singles match?
It was, in fact, his very last singles match ever. So
he's Rollins. Way to hold on to that.
I mean,
that was one of the catalysts too for Brett hating Rollins.
You can hold on. You can hold on to it as a good thing. You can hold on to it as a bad thing. It depends on you as a person, I guess. Sure. I would try not to think of it anymore, but that's just me. I'm the guy who
I broke Sting. Oh no.
I'm the guy who broke Sting. I don't want to be the guy who broke Sting. No, but
did you hear Guevara say that exact thing?
Oh, did he?
He talked about with Chris Van Vliet or whatever. He talked about Sting not getting out of the way at the 6:30 in time.
Oh shit, that's right. And he kind of turned over and just ate.
He just said like, I feel his body under my back. It just went, oh god, I broke Sting.
I killed him.
And then he said, then he goes to the back and like Sting is apologizing to him, and he's just like, I don't know what to do with this.
I saw some sentiment that it should have been FTR, and I thought,
I don't know why.
Well, I imagine
other than I love them, but like
the Greensboro NWA-ness of it all, maybe. But they had the match already, and the match was really good. Like FTR versus Sting and Darby was awesome. We were there.
They came out in the NWO outfits.
Don't fuck that up for me. Don't take that from me.
They had the NWO gear to be dickheads.
That was really cool. I really like that gear, actually. They wore it one more time.
It's one of the rare times where I saw an NWO mock-up and didn't hate it because it at least made sense.
Yeah, that reminds me of all those old Bullet Club shirts.
No, not even. I'll take it back further. They gave one to Randy.
Oh, RKO, yes.
Yeah.
That's actually the first RKO logo I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't remember the one with the shitty tattoo on his back?
No, because remember I came back to wrestling in 2003.
That's what you mean.
Yeah. But no, getting back to the Sting thing. I just imagine he thought like who's gonna bump around, like who's gonna give me the best possible match? And I don't give a fuck how you motherfuckers feel about the Young Bucks, both of you and the thousands of other motherfuckers. They're a goddamn good tag team, and if they weren't, they wouldn't be standing where they are today.
I like them as wrestlers. It's everything else I don't care about.
Sting,
that's
when
almost the exact argument.
When Sting acknowledges you at this level, like, this is the team that I want to give me my last match because I trust you. I've watched you. I've worked with you. And I think that you're going to give me the best possible final match of my legendary career. Yeah, that's a nice bit of validation right there, man. I'm just saying.
I flashed back to the moment because I was at the first Forbidden Door, and I just remember Sting jumping off the stage onto the Young Bucks.
Maniac. I mean, we can talk about his whole run. I'm sure we will, like, on the day, and the day is coming soon.
It's gonna be a sad one.
It's coming soon. It's gonna be a sad one. We're gonna talk about our Sting memories, but this fucking run has been so special that he really did need to dig deep and think about what this last match was gonna be like. Because
what I want to talk about is Sting nearly killing Powerhouse Hobbs.
That's fucking crazy. What was that bump? What was that bump? He's a maniac. Like, what is he doing? Sting is in one sentence. He's like, I think I'm too old to have a singles match. Back bump off the stage through 2 tables. Let's go. Like, what the fuck?
And a bump that is just like the reverse DDT is not the most comfortable bump for heights.
I've never seen a wrestler blind bump from that high actually except for
at that
Darby.
angle.
And lots of concrete as well.
Yeah.
I think that, and I think that in his mind, these are the things that are making it work. So he would rather have Darby and the Young Bucks in there to do the rest of it, so that he can do a crazy thing or two crazy things and call it a day. Because this is probably, as crazy as it looks, it might actually be better on the body than bumping around for 3 years.
And have Darby mess up his body with the Bucks. Can we appreciate too, real quick, Sting holding Hobbs for a while at that, getting ready at an awkward angle, and Hobbs is a big guy.
Yeah.
So there's respect there.
He was trying to get he was trying to get into position,
Line it up.
and it's such a small area of space for two sets of feet. But they did figure it. But they did figure it out. But I was concerned because
getting 4 feet to set in a tiny space.
Yeah.
Is the worst thing in the world.
But I was concerned because I heard the ref go, his back, and I was like, no.
Exactly.
I don't know. I still don't know if he was if they were just being cautious or like what the fuck. But
and he landed on the back of his head too. Both of them did.
He got up though.
It's interesting because like it was a bump that I've always thought about, because in my head I was like, when I was younger, I would think of the Randy Orton, like the hanging DDT. And it's in my head I go like, what if you did the hanging reverse DDT off like the top rope? But in my head it always ended up with somebody just going ass over tea kettle on the back of their head.
Yeah, I worry somebody's gonna snap their neck.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's just like, that's the reason the bump doesn't work in my head, and now I'm watching Sting do it off a stage. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
I know that I don't. It's not the match that I imagined for sure. But when you remove Sting versus Darby from the equation, then I don't actually have a replacement match for in my mind. Did you guys have another?
No. Darby's got to be involved in some way.
What about you?
I didn't have anyone for Sting to wrestle at that one-on-one at all.
Because that's the thing too. Like, so many of the people that he's had iconic matches and feuds with are retired, long gone. Some of them are deceased. It's just like there's not many options left from like the perspective of a legendary thing.
In fact, it is shocking how many of them even barely Sting has outlasted.
No, exactly. And like you might have like a couple like strays here and there from like the TNA days, like Jeff Jarrett or Samoa Joe, but
like Luger can't fucking walk.
Yeah, there's no. I haven't heard much about them having a relationship anymore either.
Nah, I can't think of anything.
I'm really okay with this, but I love the Young Bucks already, so that was gonna be a given. That's why I asked you, gentlemen, how do you feel?
As long as it's not Ric Flair, that's what I care about.
That's also true. Yes. I'll be the first to admit I don't care for the match. I have no emotional investment in that pairing. I totally get why he would have picked them, in the same sense that I remember it being the same advice Kurt Angle gave to The Undertaker. He's like, AJ can do everything you want by himself, and you won't have to do any work.
That's pretty much it.
No,
you need to go for the tombstone, light as a feather. Bang. Choke slam, you'll never feel it. He's athletic enough that he can just help you help yourself.
Because that's been the strong point for Sting in AEW, is the fact that he's able to work so well in these like tag team environments, those tag team matches. And honestly, too, like look at what Darby's capable of, just from the sheer lunacy that he has. And then on top of that, the Bucks can always do a bunch of crazy things too. And Sting's willing to always, up the ante whenever he needs to. And for that last match, he's going to go above and beyond. So I am genuinely excited to see what everyone's going to pull out for it.
Yeah, my only regret is just that, like, other than it being the final match for Sting, the match itself doesn't have the emotional the emotional resonance that at least a Sting versus Darby match would have given me, because they have a relationship.
Right.
Yep.
I don't have. There's no, and as you said, there is no more match really that can give you any emotional resonance because none of those guys can even work anymore. Uh, Flair can't go, even though we just piled him up with him, you know, for all the right reasons. I'm not saying I would suggest this, but he's the only guy I can think of at the round. Like there were 5 million reasons why you don't hire Hogan to do it,
Brother.
you know, brother. Um,
Doesn't work for me, brother.
and every other one of his contemporaries can't go anymore unless you asked. And I say this because I think he still took the occasional booking, but very rarely. Like, who are you gonna ask Tully to go work?
I don't. That doesn't even. I have no interest in seeing Sting with another old person.
Sure.
I don't, because even the emotional,
Even though that's the only
connection.
other emotional resonance you can actually
Yeah.
consider.
even that would
Right?
not be enough for me
Yeah.
to want like.
The only other quote old guy you already mentioned that can still go was Jarrett, and even then, there's not that much of a connection other than well, they were both kind of in WCW.
They're both in WCW. They had the TNA thing, and that's
They
about
had a
it.
TNA thing. They had a TNA thing.
That never happened.
TNA counts here. Christian's got the theme.
He does.
No,
have the-
John, we plucked Sting out of 15 years of irrelevance.
Oh, that's right. He didn't go. He came straight from WCW.
Yes.
Actually, no.
And Bound for Glory 06 was fun though.
It's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a great fucking
Oh
match.
God! Oh no! You made me think of the bad thing.
Was it? Were you thinking of Victory Road? Try not to.
Jeff.
Oh, the redemption
We're
arc.
gonna do it now.
It's
We're gonna
redemption
make-
arc time. Jeff
we're finally
Hardy
gonna
will
make it.
prevail.
Oh shit! That was
Sting's
the
last
match.
is Jeff Hardy trying to redeem himself.
That's the match. It's Sting versus Jeff
Jeff Hardy.
fucking Hardy.
Oh man, redemption time.
10 years ago, I
So it
fucked
should have
up.
been it should have been Sting and Darby versus the Hardy Boys, so we can at least get that one face off where he's just like, "You son of a bitch! I wanted this for 10 years."
If
Darby's
the
got
match
his work cut out for him that night.
if the match doesn't start with the Scorpion Death Drop, what are we doing?
That's why we need to get Tony Khan and Eric to work out their differences really quick. Bischoff needs to be there for this.
Okay, listen. You know
Man.
what? We've still got like 6-8 weeks, right? We can get that Hardy Boys match.
That's what.
Don't
honestly,
do this.
I think they
Don't
would.
do this.
Hey, we got the
What?
Workhorseman match.
You know you do.
We got enough time to make this Young
Embrace
Bucks
it.
match count.
Embrace
Let's
the
do
meme.
that.
Embrace it,
damn.
Tony Khan.
These Hardys are rough today.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
saying. I'm not saying for Revolution. I'm
last
saying
match,
on
man.
an episode of Dynamite we can make this.
Oh,
Hardy
you
Boys
might
match.
you might as well do it on an episode of Dynamite and
Yeah.
run that as the story too.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy's just like, look, man, I owe you a match, and this is the only way we can do it.
It's now or never.
I fucking broke my fingernail. I have to bite it off now. Great. I just wanted to say I thought that shit was gonna be fucking awesome, and the match is gonna end, and everybody's gonna be crying, and people are gonna talk about, oh man, it was
I
awesome.
made it worse now because I invested myself in this Jeff Hardy gimmick.
What
Now
is
that's all I
going
want.
to what's gonna tickle the shit out of me is that Sting is very old school, and he's
Yes.
gonna be like, fellas, I'm gonna go out on my back tonight.
Oh yeah.
all over.
And the reaction is gonna be incredible. I cannot wait to hear from all these fucking people how it was ruined. It sucked, and
my
I
question
loved
to
it
you
until the end.
Does
The
he
freak
take
is
the
over.
Meltzer driver?
Ah, fuck yeah, he does. He kicks out. He kicks out of that though. He's kicking out of that.
At one?
Everybody's doing it now. He might as well get one in. Oh,
And
it's
then
gonna be
he does
great.
the chest beat.
That's gonna be
He
great.
has to.
I wanted to show I wanted to talk about TNA's belts because fuck, those are really pretty. They do have a lot going on though, I must say. Let me get rid of that banner.
I
We
think
have a
they're
picture of-
incredibly like I could use less design.
I
Just a little less.
I want to know what's going on with the total nonstop action font. I know it's a throwback, but it looks fucking yeah. It only look
the
good.
hieroglyphics.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say that's like wingdings right there.
As we say, it looks more like shapes than letters. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it does.
But other than that, no,
I
they're
feel
really
like
pretty.
it works for the digital media title, but there are others I don't like that on it.
I agree.
Oh, you're
agree with that.
absolutely right. Even the busyness works better for the digital media title because it's meant to look like a chip.
I agree.
Which I really like how that looks. That's I don't know, from a design perspective, a unique one, but the world title looks beautiful.
My son likes to tag belts the most. I think the X Division belt has a mustache, and I think
was gonna say that's a mustache.
that's really interesting.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I've
it's got a
never thought
mustache.
about it
It's
like that.
absolutely a mustache, and there's
Oh,
nobody that can tell
you
me
fucked
that's
it
a.
up for
It's
me. You
the
ruined it.
Bobby
It's not a
Fish
ribbon.
championship.
It's not a ribbon because look at the ribbon on all the other belts, right? No.
Oh,
That's a
man.
mustache, and I will not
Oh
be
no!
swayed in any other
Oh,
direction.
I'm looking at the
Please
book
give
too.
it
It's
to
an
Bobby
old-timey
Fish.
mustache.
It's an old timey Bobby Fish, Trent Severin mustache.
Oh,
And by the way,
no.
taking of mustaches, AEW's got a fucking mustache epidemic going on. Everybody's got a fucking mustache.
Okay, can we
now.
talk about how Adam Page looks like Magnum T.A.C.to?
Hang them? Hang them? Is that what he's
Hang
doing? Is
Hang
he
them
about
TA?
to? I think he's about to do it. I think he's gonna come out next week with the mustache.
With just the mustache?
Hang them? No,
Magnum T.A.?
he's gonna do it. I think he's
Mustache
gonna do
Gonna
it.
shave the
Omega?
beard and go straight
I
mustache?
think because what else are we doing, right? I don't think he's gonna keep that stubble and the beard. I think
You
he's
don't
getting.
It
think
looks
Us,
good though.
I think he's getting us ready. I think he's gonna do it.
Because the mustache is much thicker than the rest of his face, isn't it?
It is. It
This
really is.
This
Yep.
is all just long-term storytelling. Because if you think back when Eli Cottonwood
Adam
talked
Page
about
is
the
gonna
mustache,
come on you.
Actually, the way the mustache is set up now with the stubble implies that at one point in his house he did just have the mustache,
whose house?
and he let the stubble grow over it so that it can get even thicker because he's absolutely coming. He's got a new attitude, right? That much is obvious. He's got ever since the swerve
By
thing,
way of leather jacket.
it's the wrestler thing. He got wronged. He went out. He bought himself a leather jacket. Although Hangman is out, I get it. He's a cow. He's always wearing a fucking leather jacket, but now he's wearing all black. He's cowboy of death.
The man
He
in
wants to
black.
fight anybody and everybody. He wants Joe. It's a great new. It'd be a great new look, I guess. He should just get a gun. He should carry a gun. He's a cowboy.
Okay, but
He's a
so I
cowboy.
Did you guys see what Bandito just
Give me the
posted?
title.
no, I did not.
Bandito put up one of those like wanted dead or alive posters. He got the AEW logo, and it's Bandito, Hangman, and Bounty Hunter.
Keith, Brian Keith.
Brian Keith.
That would be cool. Very random, but I would accept the shit out of that.
Gotta get the Western characters together.
If they actually went around just being Western badasses all day, that'd be very fucking cool as fuck. Bandito don't even gotta talk. Hangman can do it all, and Brian Keith can do it all. But no.
But what I want to know is why Claudio
That's not
deserved
the
2 buckshot lyrics.
Because he got up. How dare you? No, he was a strong boy. That's why they believe in him. Only Kenny Omega had to take 2 of them. But
Oh, they did not. They did not give him that fucking nickname.
What's that?
El hombre de la aloya negra.
Who the fuck called him that?
It's on the picture that Nick just put in the chat.
It's
For
who
Brian.
I don't
Whoever
see
made that.
Justin. I don't see Justin Roberts saying that.
everyone's just watching Justin Roberts intently.
What does
Go
that
ahead.
mean?
Try it.
Oh,
No,
you
but we
missed
got away. We
it,
got away from
Justin.
TNA. I think that a lot of people have a lot of expectations for what TNA is going to be once they change their name, and I'm like,
Sure.
if you don't watch it now, right? Like, why the fuck? What makes you think you're going to watch it after they change the name? Like, do you think they're going to shift the way they present their product?
Probably.
Because I don't. I think they're just going to be like, we are Impact as we are, and if you enjoy Impact for the last 12 months, you will enjoy it going forward. I think
that's the idea. The idea is why would you change your identity if nothing else is going to change?
I don't know if there was anything wrong, right? I think the problem was that people weren't watching. But
Sure.
and I think the name change will help towards making people watch, or at least try to watch. The problem is they're still on that channel that nobody has.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
I've said that ad nauseum for ages. Like, there's nothing. It's so little that TNA or Impact, whatever, can do to grow if they're in a place where nobody can get to them.
Yeah.
No matter what they do creatively, if they can't get to a channel that people have, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Which was true for the longest time as well. Which even then, there's a lot of people who didn't have access to Spike back in the day.
Yeah. And it
It's
only got worse from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking Destination America? Good lord.
I do look forward to seeing what they do, though. I will check out Hard to Kill and see
I was
what
gonna
they're
say, it
up
was
to.
so bad that at one point it was just like, yo, we're on Twitch. Y'all all got that, right?
I forgot that happened. They were probably better off there. I could watch them.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I heard that's too. And like Omega had his little run there, his mini run.
I'm gonna watch Hard to Kill on Saturday, right?
Okay.
And we'll see.
Alex Shelley's got Josh Alexander, right?
Yeah, Bound for Glory was good.
It's not a terrible main event on paper.
These belts are not gonna be enough to get me to stick around. But
they're nice if you're a belt nerd.
I do like them. I am a belt mark. You know who doesn't like them?
Black and red is fun.
The other belt maker, you know, Belt Fan Dan. I've been seeing him shit on these belts in his belt group for fucking days. Every day one comes out and he talks shit. I'm like, somebody's mad they didn't get called. Like, somebody's fucking jealous. But yeah, that's TNA. I'll give him a chance. Let's see what happens. I don't have high expectations because they've burned me. I know they've changed, but I've been attacked.
Say they've changed.
It's a good rule of thumb with TNA.
We were listening to fucking DJ Who Kid earlier. He gave us he's the person out of all people in wrestling. He's the person who gives us our first real eyewitness account of the CM Punk Jack Perry brawl at All In. It was a lot, but he basically said he basically confirmed the story of Samoa Joe breaking up the fight and then screaming at CM Punk, you're ruining this. Get the fuck out there. Like, get the fuck out there and wrestle. So that was interesting. I'm like, that makes sense. Like Joe in that moment, I imagine Tony Khan saw him. You know the Lego Batman meme when you fucking fall in love. he sees Joe and he's like,
well, wait,
that's my world champion.
Did he say that Tony Khan was the one that yelled at him?
Yeah, that was the miss. That was a miss because it was so hectic. Like the way he told the story was so,
because there was a lot that was happening, and I was just like, "There's so much joy out here."
It was unclear, but he said the big Hawaiian. They asked who was
the Hawaiian looking dude,
and he said the big Hawaiian looking dude.
There's like two suspects there that could be.
Yeah, it's either Samoa Joe or
Toa Leona
or Tito from Rocket Power.
Toa Leona.
Toa Leona, could you imagine?
He's the unsung hero of all of this.
Screaming at CM Punk, "You're ruining this for all of us. Get out there and fucking wrestle."
Toa Leona.
Toa, what are you doing?
Tony Khan's like, "I'm gonna push you.
I'm gonna push the shit out of you." No, so I thought that was funny because it came out of all places. This fucking rancid Sam Roberts podcast with a co-host that sounds like he's high. The co-host that sounds like he is higher than fucking than inflation. Like he's high as shit. The last thing, oops, I almost got rid of our ticker. The last thing I guess I want to talk about tonight.
Before you get to the last thing, I want to mention something funny that I just saw happen. New Japan World Global mentioned that yesterday evening, Tama Tonga's profile page was removed from the website, and Evil was listed as the Never Champion.
Whoops!
And it turns out they posted footage of Evil forcing a worker to do this under extreme duress.
That's hilarious. Actually, that's great. I love that. Get rid of him. He wants to leave. Go.
I'm the champion now.
I'm the champion now.
Everything is evil.
That's great. I love that. I just wanted the last thing I guess I wanted to talk about was Oba Femi.
The
That's
great,
right.
Oba Femi.
the great Ozaru.
Yes.
The
He
mighty Ozaru. Yeah.
the first time I saw him, I said, God damn, that's some presence. He cut
He's a
this
tank.
cut this great promo and then gets in the ring and he's
Does he have a great
lays it.
promo?
Yeah, he cut a great fucking not like like a fucking story. I mean like a big impressive guy who had he got straight to the point, he had presence, and I was like, wow.
He sounds like he can speak well, like he can do
Yeah,
that. Okay.
that was good. Okay. And then he gets in the ring, he lays it in. Everybody likes him, and apparently he fucking impressed people in the company because he wins the North American. He wins the men's breakout tournament, and then the very next week, he wins the North American Championship. They strapped the fucking rocket to his back for real. Like holy shit, out of nowhere. I am curious as to how they follow this up because he's 22 years old. He doesn't look like it. He is a 22-year-old child.
Looking up some of his stats too. Like the dude's 6'4", 273. He's got a track and field background, so he's got like real great stamina if he wants to, go in like a long match.
That's a big boy.
Oh yeah.
He's the first NIL athlete to win a championship in the WWE. He will be. I think
probably supposed to be the second, but the other one didn't exactly.
Yeah, that didn't really work out. Though he's been working dark matches on WWE. Yeah, he's working his dark matches on the main roster.
Oh, they brought him back.
Yeah, he's trying. They're trying. They're trying to make it work.
Maybe someday.
Someday. He's good, man. I really like him. He hasn't been in any long matches or anything, and I don't know how he'll be able to put those together and tell a story in the ring. But as far as the fundamentals, the basics, and he's really good. I thought it was crazy that they gave him the belt so fast, but I'm here for it. I like me some chaos. I like it.
Break the status quo.
I'm down. Are you guys down with the you an Oba feminist?
I'm gonna definitely be like, look at that. That guy looks like a star. I'll say that. He is good. And I want to watch more of his stuff.
He's got a look to him for sure. I always dig a little bit of
grit.
Yeah, well, yes. I was going to say like cultural reference. So like I think all the Nigerian stuff added to his look is very cool to see.
Oh yeah.
He wants for huh?
No, I was saying, oh yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah, like even that picture, you can see some of it in the yellow pad, but it's in the rest of his gear too. I was very amused to find that he has actually a new Instagram account because the one they initially linked when they announced him as an NIL athlete was called Nigerian Thanos.
That's so good.
The weird part is because I think somebody had already taken Nigerian Thanos, the eyes are replaced with the number 1, and it gives off a very awkward visual when you look at it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I need to see that.
That was like, oh, I don't know if anybody wants to see that.
He had to make a whole new account. I'm sorry.
It's a little awkward.
This is my burner from now on, baby.
That's great. But I'm with it. Like he stood out. There's something to say. Not enough people want to admit that it's a real thing. There is something to be said about just innate physical charisma. And when that dude walks in the room, you're just like, who the fuck is that guy?
He chopped the shit out of this dude in the fucking
tournament. Chase you guy.
Yeah, he smacked that dude right into the fucking apron.
The sound of it.
Good. I love it. I'm so
It
down.
felt like those animes where you see the hand come out of their back.
It comes right out the stomach. That Piccolo
Yeah.
Android 17 punch.
Yes.
Boom. Ugh. Did they do that in Creed? They did that in Creed, right? He did
They
the.
did a version of it. Yeah, like
Uh,
they had a shot where it kind of looks like the punch is protruding through the abs and out the back.
that's great. Look at Michael B. Jordan stealing anime.
Yeah.
That's us though. That's us tonight. We're back. That was really good. I had fun. I always have fun.
We're always
Uh,
having fun.
the
I was
you'll
looking
s-
too. Like
Our tangents have
Obafemi
tangents.
was a jobber on Level Up for a couple months.
Did he do level up stuff? I didn't even know. I don't watch
Yeah.
level up. Level up is so beyond my radar. Like I don't know who's on there.
There's something
If
hilarious about NXT having an NXT.
I isn't it?
His
I
first win
actually
didn't come until like April of this year.
I appreciate the streams now
Or
because
last year,
now
rather.
I actually know the people in NXT. Like I know who they are now. Like I know
Ooh.
Fallon Henley. I wouldn't have known who the fuck that was 4 weeks ago, and now I see they're not only are they pushing the shit out of her, like the people that watch NXT are like, she's gonna be a star. I was like, I don't know who the fuck, I don't know who the fuck that is.
I think she's currently torturing Tiffany Stratton by making her
She
work
is.
on the farm.
She is, and now I know this thanks to the streams. I have a small connect. I have a connection to the future now. But Obafemi's the first person that I've been like, okay, like I like to watch this progression as it
Mhm.
happens. We will be seated and we will be watching. I mean, Nick, it's about that time.
Yes, yes. And with that time, I am going to tell you all about the Cold Case Project. It's a channel that
Hey.
focuses on all kinds of disappearances, murders, and other cold cases. My brother Tony and I work on this, and Tony is a much greater part and presence on here. And there's a lot of binge-worthy content if you like long-term true crime things, usually hour and a half, 2-hour videos, and there's some shorter ones too, such as the recent strange disappearance of Reeves Johnson III. And there's a whole hour and a half long video on the haunting disappearance of Karen and Michael Reynard. So go check that out if you are at all into true crime and whatnot. And hey, if you want to dabble a little bit of just relaxation, why don't you go check out Monk Aromatherapy? That's monq.com. And when you do so, when you find what you want, there's a ton of different flavors. I'm personally a huge fan of the Happy, but whatever you're feeling, whatever you want, whatever emotion you want to be feeling, go check out Monk and make sure when you pick your purchase, you do promo code monq.com. No, that's not the promo code. That's me telling you what the website is. The promo code is DSR10. That's what I want to tell you. All right. What's next? Major issues? Greg, you up?
Yep. Next episode of Basic Issues Podcast, we'll be discussing their predictions going in to the year of 2024 in the realm of comic books and comic book media. There's a lot of stuff coming out. Not so much coming out this year from the MCU. The only title that seems to be MCU related in the movie department is, I believe, Deadpool 3.
Yeah, Deadpool is the only boy.
Yeah. But other than that, we have a lot of television shows and DC films to discuss, as well as Marvel affiliated movies such as the Madam Web movie that is
No. Don't make me watch it.
movie. The Madam Web movie that is getting a lot of very, very weird traction. I believe there is something coming out in Marvel TV. Are we getting another What If this year?
Season 3 is coming out next year. We got
Next
Spider-Man.
year? Oh, 2025?
Yeah, we got no this year I think.
That's what I meant. We're getting another What If this year.
I forgot it's already 2024. Yeah, I think we're getting another What If. I think we're getting that.
That's crazy.
We're getting a Spider-Man show. We're getting
Craven the Hunter.
Woo!
I'm gonna punch you in the face. Don't make me talk about these things.
We're also getting
got
Venom
some lost
3.
media associated with it.
Sweet. Basically, 2024 is the year that Sony actually takes down the superhero genre. So if you
wait, we're getting things you do care about. We will be getting X-Men 97 in 2024.
Ah, nice. That's right. They revived X-Men the animated series from the 90s.
Yes. Echo just recently released.
That's right. It's getting pretty decent reviews.
Yes, it is. A thing that John hates. We will be getting
Decent
Agatha,
reviews.
the Darkhold
No.
Diaries.
Oh, I'm not fucking watching. No, I'll watch it because of its connection to the overall cloth of the MCU.
But you won't like it.
What the fuck are we doing giving Agatha a spin? Like, what are we fucking doing? This is why they make fun of you. Oh my god. Like, where's something better? No, it's fuck.
We will be getting the first film in the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths trio for the animated film series.
Oh, we're getting all 3 this year.
I'm saying, yeah, we're getting the first one like this month.
It came out now. I'm gonna watch that shit when this is over.
Okay, is it out or do you just never mind?
It's it's out. It's out digitally. You can buy it digitally.
Okay.
Digitally.
We've got the Joker for Le Adu.
Omelette du fromage.
That's how the young bucks are gonna start talking now.
I'm sorry. We actually have French team members, so I apologize for that.
Yeah, we just lost them.
There's a few other works that may or may not be released this year. I'm not sure. I know there is a Watchmen animated project.
That is coming.
A Batman Azteca.
That is weird. That is also coming all over your face, baby.
We might get the last season of Superman Lois. We might not.
Don't hurt me like that.
Yeah.
What do you mean, might not? Where was the input?
I mean, like, things get pushed back. Maybe it doesn't come out this year, but it'll come out.
Just putting negative energy into the universe.
A lot of options. Come check us out for our predictions of 2024 and to see how we think this year will shake out.
Definitely. Check out the rest of the Duff and Pop podcasts, the Countdown to Infinity, the Revenge of the Sequel, all the other ones that I may or may not have forgotten. Make sure to come back on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, pay-per-view Sundays. We are here. We are talking, and
Wrestling.
I heard a little rumor that somebody might have some more time on their hand soon. So we may be doing some live streams out there, some heavy whenever they do some breaking news. I don't know, maybe possibly breaking news live streams. I don't know. That's what I heard. Anyway, we'll see you guys out there.
Peace. And we lost Greg.
I did not mean to leave as we are still recording. But
I was just like, oh, it's me and the wall. I'm just like, whatever.
What happened?
I got my Gatorade bottle. All of a sudden, I look at like Greg's gone, and I'm like, oh no.
Where did he go? What the fuck? Okay, Greg.
I want to apologize to our audience because I did totally lie to everyone because I was not. I guess I wasn't lying. I was telling the truth because I wasn't playing Baldur's Gate 3. I was told the truth. I wasn't lying. I don't owe anyone an apology. Let's go.
He's not fucking the bear right now.
Whoa, what? What game are you talking about?
No. We'll see you guys next week, man. Thank you for joining us as always.
Oh yeah.